It's 1940. The world is on fire. Dunkirk is a graveyard of steel. Every river in Europe is a grave for armies. The Wehrmacht devours nations. Bridges blown, and Britain's army left stranded. They needed a miracle. But one quiet engineer in a freezing shed in Dorset, England, with pencil in hand, is about to break the rules of war. This is the story of Donald Coleman Bailey and the bridge that carried the Allies to Berlin and victory. Donald Bailey was born on the 15th of September, 1901, in Rotherham, England, a son of a steelworks engineer. After attending Rotherham Grammar School and the Leys School in Cambridge, he went on to Sheffield University and finished top of his class, culminating in a doctorate of engineering, a man who measured stress in triangles. By 1939, he's a civil servant in Christchurch, England, wearing a tweed jacket, pipe in hand, tinkering in his garden shed. No one suspects this quiet man with the slide rule is about to invent the impossible. It's August 1940. Bailey's on holiday, but he can't stop thinking. His son Richard recounts, Dad vanished into the shed for 3 days. Mum brought sandwiches. He came out with ink on his fingers and a sketch that looked like a giant Meccano set. His weapon, 1 panel, 10 feet of steel, 550 pounds of defiance. 6 men carry it. No cranes, no excuses. He didn't build a bridge. He built a weapon system made of Lego for giants. The War Office laughed. They called it a toy, a child's bridge, they said. Too simple, flimsy, temporary, impossible for tanks. Even when the Germans found out about it, they dismissed it too, calling it Spielzeugbrücke, the toy bridge. Donald Bailey wasn't a soldier or a general, just a government engineer with a stubborn belief that simplicity beats complexity. Bailey said, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." Dorset, England, December 1940. The War Office gave him one chance, so it began standing in the freezing wind at Stanpit Marsh, spanning 70 feet. With 140-ton Churchill tank, some engineers, and 6 hours to complete it. Royal Engineer Sergeant Tom Wilkins recounts in his diary, "The civvy in the tweed coat stood on the bridge as the tank came. We thought he'd jump. He just puffed his pipe and said, 'If it holds me, it'll hold anything.' They drove a 40-ton tank across it, then another, then 10 in a row. The bridge didn't move. The laughter stopped. After that, a War Office memo read, 'Production immediate, priority 1. The Bailey Bridge wasn't approved. It was unleashed. By January 1941, factories ran 24/7. Women welded panels while Bailey walked the lines, never raising his voice, just pointing at flaws. The genius of the Bailey Bridge was in its modularity. Each section was just a few feet long, light enough for 6 men to carry, just steel panels, pins, and muscle. It could be built anywhere, in mud, snow, even under fire, and every part was interchangeable. A damaged section could be swapped in seconds. North Africa, it's November 1942. The Desert Fox is winning until Operation Torch lands. Then the 8th Army starts chasing Rommel and the Afrika Korps, but every wadi or riverbed is like a wall. Corporal Harry Jones recalls, in 1942, "We built a 100-foot bridge in 4 hours, in 120-degree Fahrenheit heat. A panel slipped, crushed a man's foot. He screamed, 'Keep going!' We did. Tanks rolled at dawn. Rommel never knew what hit him. Rommel awoke to find his supply line severed that morning. General Montgomery cabled London, 'Without the Bailey, we'd still be in Egypt.' Normandy, 6th of June, 1944. The Germans obliterate every span of bridge to stop or slow the Allies. But the Allies, they bring their own. The Bailey Bridge was waiting. Within days, portable bridge sections were rolling onto the beaches. By the time General Patton's Third Army reached France, they had hundreds of Bailey kits and used them like a secret weapon. Patton famously said, "Without the Bailey Bridge, we could not have won the war." His engineers could rebuild a 200-foot crossing in less than 12 hours. Rivers stopped being obstacles. They became mere delays. As Allied tanks thundered across one Bailey Bridge after another, captured German engineers couldn't believe what they saw. The toy bridge was stronger than anything they'd built. When they examined captured parts and found, to their amazement, that every component fit together perfectly. Lieutenant David Sterling recalls, Normandy 1944. "We built a bridge under machine gun fire. A panel took a bullet, didn't even dent it. We laughed like madmen. The Jerrys stopped shooting, just watched us finish it. The unsung heroes were the Royal Engineers and U.S. Army engineers who built them under fire. Imagine standing waist-deep in icy river water, bullets snapping overhead, hammering pins into place as tanks waited behind you. Many died before the final span was complete, but the bridge always got finished. The Rhine Gamble. In March 1945, the Rhine, Hitler's final moat, Operation Plunder starts. At Rees, under heavy shell fire, in the pitch-black British engineers build the longest tactical bridge in history. 1,126 feet of steel snaking across the river. Sapper Bill "Nobby" Clark recalls, "We ran out of pins at 3 a.m., so we used bayonets instead. Held just fine. First tank crossed at 5:47 a.m. Driver saluted us. We hadn't slept in 36 hours. Bridge up. Send the tanks." At dawn, the first Sherman rumbles across. The Rhine was finally breached. The man behind the steel, Sir Donald Coleman Bailey, was knighted in 1946. OBE, U.S. Legion of Merit. Never wore the medals, kept them in a drawer. His son Richard said in 1975, "Dad came home after the knighting. Mum asked, 'How was the king?' He said, 'Nice chap. Bit windy at the palace.' Then went to fix the garden gate with a spare Bailey panel. He hated flying, traveled by train, refused royalties. The bridge belongs to the soldiers." The war ended. The bridge refused to die. In the Korean War, 1951, it helped hold the line at Imjin under heavy human wave attacks. In Vietnam, 1968, U.S. Marines rebuilt one 3 times after VC sabotaged it. The Falklands War in 1982. Royal Engineers threw a 120-foot span in 36 hours. Then, in Nepal, 2015, Indian Army helicoptered the panels into the Himalayas to help with the earthquake rescue. Over 500,000 panels, still saving lives, still built by hand. Donald Bailey never fired a shot, never saw combat, but every river crossed echoes his name. The Bailey Bridge, built in hours, won in blood, and carried by heroes. Subscribe for more of the men, women, and machines that won the wars.